Hey there and welcome to a new video. Dustin here from the Gravity team. If you're running an event and looking for sponsors, you'll need an event sponsorship form. With Gravity Forms, you can use our event sponsorship form template to build out a form in minutes that can be used to accept sponsorship applications and payments for your event. Let's jump in and take a quick look at how easy it is to build this form in no time at all. First, you'll want to make sure you've set up a payment processor with your forms. For this video, I'm going to use Stripe. If you've never used Stripe with Gravity Forms, be sure to check out our detailed tutorial, linked below. I'll get started by creating a new form and selecting the Stripe Event Sponsorship Form template. I'll give the form an appropriate title, then select Use Template. From here, I'll be greeted with a pre-built template that I can customize to my liking. I'm going to start by selecting the sponsorship level field and opening the field settings. I'll then use the Choices flyout to customize the sponsorship labels and prices. Next, I'm going to select the logo upload field and change the maximum file size to 100 megabytes, which will allow sponsors to upload slightly larger logo images. Under the email field, I'm going to add an optional phone field and use the column handle to shrink down its width just a bit. I'll also add another page break below the phone field to help keep my form accessible and user-friendly. And speaking of page breaks, I can also use the field settings to change the progress bar color as well as update the names of each page. On the page I just created, there's a field that asks if the user is the primary contact for this sponsorship. Below this field are name fields and email fields that will collect the primary contact's information if the user submitting the form is not the primary contact. These fields have conditional logic applied to them and will only be visible if the user indicates that they are not the primary contact for this sponsorship. Next, I'll select the consent field and enter my consent agreement text. At the bottom of this form is the Stripe field. To use this form with Stripe, we'll need to set up a couple feeds to configure the data that this form will send to Stripe. If I head to this form settings and select Stripe, I can add a new feed. I'll give the feed an appropriate name and set the transaction type to products and services. I'll then ensure the payment amount field is mapped to the form total field, then map the billing information fields to their corresponding form fields. For the customer information fields, I'm going to map the email field to the first email field on my form. I can also choose to send a receipt to that email address, if needed. Then I'm going to use conditional logic to only process this feed if the user indicated that they are the primary contact for this sponsorship. Next, I'll save this feed and create a second Stripe feed. This feed will be almost identical to the first, but with a few important differences. Instead of using the form submitter's email, I'll instead map the email field to the email of primary contact field. I'll also adjust the conditional logic so this feed only processes if the user indicates that they are not the primary contact for the sponsorship. With both feeds in place, Stripe will always store the correct sponsor email address, whether the primary contact submitted the form themselves or someone else completed it on their behalf. Next, I'll head back to my form and open the Stripe field settings. From here, I'll enable Stripe's payment element, which will let users utilize additional payment methods like Google Pay and Apple Pay. I'll also enable Link, Stripe's accelerated checkout method. Finally, I'll save everything and embed my form on a new page. And with that, I'm ready to start accepting event sponsorships using Stripe. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel for more Gravity Forms and WordPress content. That's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.